What's going on, everybody? Shalon Winter here. Time for a trade recap for Wednesday. This is going to be July 9th. And I'm going to go through these pretty quick now whenever I do the trade recap. I know for the longest I've been saying I'm going to try to get these within 10 minutes or under. Then I settled for 20 minutes. But they end up being 30 to 40 minutes. However, I am going to go a little faster on these because tomorrow I have scheduled right now for a video to be released tomorrow afternoon that I already recorded. That is showing you exactly how I do my framework every single morning. I know I've gone over it before here and there on my recap videos or whatever, but this video is going to be specifically just for how I go into my framework and what I look for each day. And yeah, I've settled on that as, my model, I guess, that I'm looking for and what I'm doing based on everything I've learned through ICT concepts. So because of that, I'm always going to refer to that video and I'm just going to walk through on my recaps fairly quickly just to show what happened, what I was doing. So with that, be on the lookout for that video tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you're subscribed, like all my videos, and that way you don't miss it. So here we are on the daily chart. Okay, so I started off my day. I'm looking here, and right here you can see where we had last week's high. Okay, that was the all-time high this morning before I started trading. That was the all-time high there. And what I was looking at is on the daily chart yesterday for Tuesday, we closed up, right? So we never swept this low down here, but we did kind of have an inside candle inside the day before. So it's kind of like, is it going to be bearish? Is it going to be bullish? Not too sure yet because, it did close up, but it could, look to come down and take this little swing low here. But hey, maybe not. But so today, you can see obviously we have our open here. And then what happened was we reached down and you see I have this midline here, right? Let's use my little pen here real quick. I have the midline right here. So measure the high, wick low in the midline. And of course we had the open here, right? And then you can see we reached down into a discount of the previous day's session. So that's what I'm looking at there. So if we don't, basically I'm looking to see if we do a sweep, like a sweep below yesterday's low, or if not, maybe if we're anywhere down in this area on my lower time frames, I see a reason price not to go any lower. Then I'd just be looking for a long up into the premium and maybe take this high because ultimately, price is bullish. So that's what I was looking at on the daily. Dropped down to my 4 hour here. I was looking to see, is there any fair value gaps in the way or anywhere around that I need to be aware of? But immediately I notice and I look at right here, you have this low and this low. So we have, what's that? Relative equal lows right there, right? So that's what I notice. And I want to kind of pay attention and I want to see if that's worth noting on my lower time frames. So I'll see that. I see a little bit of a fair value gap right here, little 4 hour one right here. But this bar right here was 6 a.m. So that means it closes at 10 a.m. So I really don't know where this bar is going to close yet until that 10 a.m. So I'm looking as a potential fair value gap here, but it really wasn't there yet. And then over here to the left, there's nothing. There's really no fair value gaps that I need to watch out for except for this big one here, this 4 hour one, right? In case price does come down, which that's right where previous day low was. So I was kind of looking at that like, maybe. But then if you see back here, you can see how this bar reached down into that already, closed up here. Then this bar came down. And I bet you if I measure this wick, that's probably going to be around the midpoint. Look at that perfectly there. So that could be a potential rejection block here. Then it came back up. Okay, so, it's pretty bullish. It's kind of what I look at. Pretty bullish there. And then I'm looking at this. Is there any SIBIs, bearish fair value gaps in my way? Well, at the time, price was like down here. It hadn't taken all these highs yet. So okay, we do have this 4-hour one, but look how many times price has traded through it, right? If price does come back up here, I'm expecting it. There's a lot of buy side liquidity here. I'm expecting it to run through that. So I'm kind of like, okay, more bullish, nothing else in the way. Drop down to my 1 hour. Looking here, again, price is back here. So, all this to the right, I don't see. But what I do see is this 1 hour fair value gap. So I'll mark that. And then in my way, is there any fair value gaps? Well, not really. I have a lot of relative equal highs everywhere, though. There's a lot of buy side liquidity in here. No real fair value gaps in my way. It's okay. But here's those relative equal lows I was talking about on the 1 hour. Looks pretty clean right there. Okay, that we have so what I'm seeing all right off the bat is we have a lot of buy side liquidity all in this area, right? Buy side liquidity. And then what I'm looking at here is some sell side liquidity. So whenever you have that, both sides, I'm going to wait for price to run one side and then look for price to run the other side, or vice versa, whichever way it goes first. That's basically what I look to do. All right, so then I drop down to my 15-minute, and I want to zoom out and look. And actually, let's go ahead and go to replay, trading, launch bar replay. Let's go back here to 9:30. Oops. There we go. Let's go to 9:30 there. And because this is what I'm looking at, right? That's, 9:15 bar right there. So I already see price is already taking previous day high right here. So I'm looking to see, okay, are we going to just kind of stop in this area and come down for this sell side liquidity here? Or are we going to run up for, look at this, these relative equal highs here, right? You have this one that we reached up. You have this high. And then you have pretty much these relative equal highs, and this one took that out, but now it left some buy side liquidity up here. So I'm looking like, okay, is it going to want to run up in this area somewhere? Is it going to want to run up there for a buy side, or what's it going to do? And then let me throw this on here so we can see the levels, because I like this, just the easy way to do it. And we had here London, this old London high being taken, all this buy side up here being taken, right? And then we still, like I said, had these areas back here that haven't been taken. But we're leaving this morning's London low, which is where those relative equal lows are. So I'm like, okay, that's a pretty clear sell side liquidity. I do like that for a sell side liquidity. And then I'm looking for any fair value gaps, basically from this sell side all the way up to where all this buy side is. Is there anything there that can, stop price or make price do something different? But so then immediately right here, I see this 15-minute fair value gap. And we have this one basically making one big, probably 30-minute gap there. Okay. And then you have this low and this low, kind of like a little pre-market sell side liquidity here, which would be more of an internal range liquidity. And let me turn this off now. So now, and that London low, here, let's go ahead and put that there. London low right there. Okay. So this is where I'm targeting. If price comes down, this would be where I'm expecting, well, not targeting, where I'm expecting price to go. Because I always have an expectation where price is likely to go. And then what I do is I look for low-hanging fruit to take my targets whenever I take a trade. All right, so yeah, so that we kind of have this framework set up here. And here's the pre-market low right here. So let's throw that there. And pre-market low right there. All right, so now price opens and this pretty much just runs straight up. And then, well, one more thing here. Let me put my midnight opening price right here. And the reason why I like to look at midnight opening price is because if price is above the opening price, then I don't have to have this happen, but if we're above the opening price, I'm looking at it like potentially we could be in a premium, and I'd be looking for a run into a discount below the midnight opening price. So if I'm taking shorts and we're above the midnight opening price, that's a higher probability for me, but not always. It all depends on the framework. All depends on the framework, right? So we had, where's my all-time high? Oh, I think because I went to that bar replay, all-time high is... Oh, no, it's up here. It's up there. So there's that all-time high, okay? And, all right, so that's basically what I framed out for the morning. So now I just have to wait for the open. So we're going to go ahead and jump forward here and see what happens. Are we going to run that buy side and come down, or are we just going to go, like, what are we going to do? So that's kind of this morning what I had to wait for. I had to wait and see. Are we going to run that buy side, or are we going to open, come down into here, and then run buy side? Like, which way are we going to go first? And basically, I'm looking for it to draw one way, and then I'm taking it the opposite way. So I have to wait. That's all I got to do. So I'm waiting. And as you can see, I mean, yeah, it just went straight up. Straight up. There we go. We took all-time high, and this is where we made the new all-time high. And this is where I was looking. So once we do that, I want to see this fair value gap right here. Does this hold, or do we invert it, create an inversion, and come down? Like, that's right here going to tell me a lot. Now, we also, if I go to the 5-minute, we had a 5-minute fair value gap right here too. Pretty high up. So I wanted to see if price would come, like if that would hold, or what price is going to do here. Because if price holds up here, then we might just keep running all-time high, making new all-time highs. However, if this 1-minute one gets inverted and then 5-minute gets inverted, well then, hey, we might try to come down. So that's what I was looking at. And then we ended up getting a 15-minute one a little bit later. Hitting the wrong button here. There we go. So now we're pushing down. Okay. Let's back up a little bit. Yeah, let me back up here. How do I back up? I don't know if I can. Oh, wait. I think it's here. I just have to go select my bar. Okay, here we go. All right, so 15-minute, we got this fair value gap as well. So I'm looking at that like, okay, is this going to hold our support here, or is it going to go ahead and trade through it? As you can see, we came down, and now I'm like, okay, if we displace down through here, I'm definitely looking for a short. And I want to see this right here, this 1-minute, if it becomes an inversion. If it does, I'm likely looking to go short. So we got this, and look at this. Okay, this is where it sucked for me today. All right, we got this fair value gap coming down. Now, check this out up here on the top left. I'm on NQ today. So my leader, which is my live account, I always trade my live brokerage account with the leader. Today, I decided I'm going to go back to 1-minute on that account. And my followers, my Apex PA accounts, are still on micros. So I'm crossing them over with the copier, whatever. So I'm on NQ right here. Check it out. What happens? I'm like, all right, if we get this fair value gap, we come back up in this fair value gap, I'm going short, and I'm going to run it down either the previous day high here, or maybe in this gap area right here. I'm going to run it down that area. Look what happens. Look at this bar. If you look up here, top left, if you're not familiar, right here where it says high, look right there. And let me show you. I was watching. This wick went up, and up there it's 050.25. The fair value gap is right here. Look at the high, 053.75. 25.75. 2 ticks. 2 ticks away right here from touching that fair value gap. So I was just waiting, and I was like, okay, it didn't touch it, so it might do this, and then come back in here, where inside this inversion, maybe right in this area somewhere, and then go down. So I waited, and look, I was like, no, you got to be kidding me. So I ran away. But remember now, I believed at the time price was going to could run all the way down here. This sell side liquidity, London low. So that's what I was looking at. So now when price came down, I was like, okay, it didn't come up into this one. It's like, all right, maybe I'll still get an opportunity somewhere, but I don't want to chase. But let's see what happens. Price pulled up, price pulled down. Now, let me tell you too, the thing that sucked with this entry is on MNQ. If you look on MNQ, it actually did touch it by like 2 ticks. So on NQ, it did not. MNQ, it did. So had I been on MNQ, I would have pressed the button. And I had an MNQ chart to my right that I was looking at also, but I wasn't really looking at it because I was about to enter the trade and I was expecting it to go into this one. Had I had MNQ, I would have gotten that, but it's all good, whatever. So we came down, we did this. And then whenever I saw us right here take this low, come back down under previous day high, I said, all right, we're likely going to trade right inside this one, and we're likely going to take this pre-market low. So I entered here, and I was aiming here. But look what happened. Hit last month's high, and look at this. It actually got 1 tick away from my target. Came all the way back down. Because my target was literally right here, 1 tick away. Because I was just above the pre-market low. So when that happened, I tightened my stop to like right here, and it gave back like 10, 12 points, but it got me out. But I don't care. I don't care. It was fine. But I was like, you got to be kidding me. So right here, it was 3 ticks away from my target, and it came all the way back up here, and I had to wait for it to come back down here. And I was like, that's enough. That's it. That's it. I'm out. As you can see, it ended up taking it a little later. So, and then it reversed. But whatever, it is what it is. And so let's play the video real quick here of my trade. Okay, here's the trade. And I was on the wrong chart on the MNQ. So I was like, oh crap. Came over here, hit the sell button right inside there. And I'm just going to kind of fast forward here a little bit. Stop was right above that swing high. Target was just under. So I didn't target down here. I targeted. So this is where my target was, right above this 15-minute fair value gap, right below that last month's high. So start off good. Fast forward. It's okay. I'm expecting kind of this. We had an opening range gap here as well. It's okay. Whatever. Got a little fair value gap here. I zoomed in so we could see it better. And then ran up here inside into this order block. And you'll see me throw my order block, a little marking on there in a minute. And it went right to the midpoint. See right there, right to the midpoint of this. If you measure the wick high, wick low, right to the midpoint. So I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Let's see if it takes this low. If it takes this low, I'll probably move to break even. Just because like I missed my initial entry, and I usually hate getting in later, even if it hasn't hit my target. I typically don't like doing that. Now I took this low, so I'm at break even. I'm like, all right, cool. Now look at this. Hit last month's high. Watch this, though. Watch how close it gets to my target. 3 ticks away is what it gets. I'm like, no way. So I have a little bit of room here, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to look at that. Look at that. I'm like, no, you got to be kidding me. And then look at the bodies. Right here on last month's high, I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm going to let it take me out here. I'm going to go back, move my stop back up here, and then let it ride. Because there's no way I'm going to let it come back up and take me out when it was 3 ticks away from my target. It should go to that that pre-market low. I don't see any reason why it won't. So let's fast forward in here, and it came. Look how close it got to take me out. I'm like, man, no way. Came back down. Got a little volume imbalance there, very little. Came back down, and look, hold on. Look, one tick away from my target here. So I went ahead and moved my stop right behind it because I'm like, I'm not taking chances. And it got me out. Got me out there, 63.41, which includes, like I said, my live account. See, my live account, I did one mini, back up to one mini. So made 655 in my live right here. And then the rest of my Apex PAs. Couple of them I traded a little more because they have bigger balances. So, yep. That's my trade recap. So, like I said, be on the lookout for that video tomorrow afternoon. And hope this helps somebody. And as always, trade well, everybody. Take care.